In this video, we will be learning about area. The area of a figure is the amount of surface it covers. We measure area in square units. Looking at this example below, we see that this rectangle is 3 units tall and 5 units across. And since we measure area in square units, we are really measuring how many squares fit inside of this rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the area of this rectangle is 15 square centimeters. In this next example, we're focusing on the formula for area of a rectangle. And a formula is basically a structure that we will use to solve a problem. Now, in this case, we will multiply length times width. And on this rectangle, the length is the long side, which is 6 inches, and it is marked 6. And we will multiply it by the width, which is the wide side, which is 2 inches, and it is marked with a 2 up here. And then finally, we multiply the two together to get our area. Now, pay attention that the area is always written and shown in square units. Now we're going to look at the area of a triangle. It says the area of a triangle is half the product of its base and its height. So in other words, its area equals 1/2 times base times height. In this example, we have 1/2 times the base. The base is the number on the bottom, times the height, which is how tall the triangle is, and that will always be shown vertically, straight up and down, not slanted or diagonal, just straight up and down. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to multiply 2 of these 3 pieces. Now, I can multiply 1/2 times 20 since 20 is an even number, and if I multiply those two, I get 10. Now 10 times 12 is the next step, which is 120. And remember, area is in square units. In this case, we're talking about feet. So the area of that triangle is 120 square feet. Let's work through the area of this rectangle. Now we remember that area equals length times width for our rectangle. Length times width. So as I plug in the information that I know by looking at this rectangle, I realize that the long side is 15, so that will be my length. And I will multiply it by the wide side, which is 9, and that will take the place of my width. Now I just multiply the two together, and 15 times 9 is 135, and I'm talking about inches, so these will be square inches. Let's do another example of area of a rectangle. Again, we're going to use our formula. Area equals length times width, and in this case, my length is 13. So as I rewrite my formula, now plugging in the information that I see, I will multiply 13 times my width, which is 7, and now I will multiply 13 times 7, which gives me 91. And we're talking about inches, so it's 91 square inches. In this next example, we will find the area of this triangle. A formula for area of a triangle A equals, or area equals, 1/2 times the base, or the bottom, times the height, or how tall the triangle is. So I can go ahead and plug in some information. I'll always have 1/2 times the base. So the base in this case is the bottom number, which is 30, times the height in this case, which is 24, is how tall that triangle is what I'll multiply. Now, the fact that 30 is even means I can multiply it by 1/2. And anytime I multiply a number by 1/2, really what I'm doing is just dividing it by 2. So 1/2 times 30 is 15 times my 24. That just drops down. And now I need to multiply 15 times 24. And that comes out to 360 square inches. And here will be our final example. Again, it's a triangle and we're finding the area, so we will use A equals 1/2 times base times height. A equals 1/2 times, in this case, the base is 5, times the height, which is 8. Now, if you will recall, we studied the identity property of multiplication, and the identity property of multiplication says that if you are only multiplying, then you can multiply in any order that you want. And since I have 1/2 times 5 times 8, I would like to use the 8 and multiply it by 1/2 since it is the even number. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 8, which gives me 4, but I can't forget to bring down the number I didn't use, which in this case was the 5. I did not multiply with the 5 yet, so I still need to. So I have to bring it down. This now gives me an area of 4 times 5, which is 20 square inches.